He's right, boys and girls. Old Bothering, an overcoat over his pajamas and shawls, thrust out his tortoise head and got his clamor of welcome. He was a ludicrous, powerful, reassuring sight to that bellowing mob, or to that bewildered mob. He was the master, and liked because he was free-handed and employed good-natured fellows who winked at pretty thefts and fed the dispossessed on rabbits from the warren. So the pink multiple face turned docilely toward him, while Ben swayed and fell against Illico's head and uplifted arms, muttering, "I cannot speak any more, Illico. My mandrake has done all it can for this time. We must not ask so much of it." "Steady," murmured Illico, warm and firm as an efficient mother. "Here, Barnstable." And he coolly transferred Ben's convulsive grip from his own arm to Teddy Barnstable's, while he swum up onto the roof. Then, sheltering Ben from the general gaze with his own burly shoulders, he whipped out a silver flask, which he had certainly not possessed that morning. He was shoving the nozzle between Ben's teeth as Bothering continued, "See here, I've been listening to this fellow." "Why, Ben!" shouted the mob suddenly, on the defensive. "Why, Ben!" And those who were too far away to hear Bothering's older, weaker voice began to shout excitedly, "Ben! We want Ben! We want White Ben!" "You shut up over there," commanded Petal, flashing his smile upon his own special supporters, who instantly took up his cause. "Shut up there, can't you? Let the old boy speak." "I have been listening," repeated old Bus obstinately, to this fellow here in white. Well, I looked at what you have made of my spinney. Not that I mind. You'll have to reckon with Templeton, not with me." And he blinked across at the men standing about Trelawney's hustlings. These were gamekeepers, gardeners, and farmers, all disabled and all men from his own estate. They were doubtful, wondering what old Bus was up to now, but the allusion to bailiff pleased them. "Still," continued old Bus, taking his cigar out of his mouth, "it is secession night, so I dare say Templeton will shut his eyes, and we won't stop the rabbits. The fellow in white here would tell me, I suppose, that they're your woods and your rabbits. Maybe. I certainly didn't own 'em when I ran about London on Guy Fawkes's night 60 years ago, cashing coppers. I didn't think then I'd ever afford such a bonfire for my friends. Well, I had good luck. You've had bad luck. These fellows here, they say it isn't fair. I say it isn't fair, too. You lost your work through the war. You thought you'd get it back when the war was over. But the government, they made bad terms for you. There won't be any work, boys and girls, never any work again unless you do something about it. But there was a way of giving you work, you know." He paused to throw away his cigar stump, but no one in the tobacco-hungry crowd dived for it. He stood, his head poked forward, apparently watching the red end extinguish itself in the trampled grass, and lifted his head with a little start, as if he had only just realized that they were waiting for him to go on. "What?" said Bothering. "Oh, yes, there was a way. If our government had stood out for a big air fleet, everyone in the country would have had a job. No, you're not builders, but you could have looked after the people who were. Honest work it would have been, and good pay. But the government gave in, see? Now this fellow here, this White Ben of yours, he wants to do something about it. He says go up to London and talk to the government. Well, why not? It's your government, isn't it? You put it in. You can turn it out. Turn out the government, then. White Ben here'll show you how, and I'll help him. So will every Englishman who believes in the country and doesn't want to see crows in the sky. That's the talk to give 'em. No crows in our sky. Got it? Well, I'm here to say I'm with you, boys and girls. If you want to go to London, I'll find the money to get you there. It's a good offer. And here's another good offer. I only came back yesterday, and I'm not what you might call settled yet in my little place. And, well, it ain't the corner house for all its size, but I think I could find some grub for White Ben's friends. Look, boys and girls, the sun's coming up. You all come home with me to breakfast." Then with a swift aside to Ben, "You march with 'em, eh? Come on." And while the mob buzzed and shouted and crowded around its own choice spirits, demanding explanations, imploring leadership, arguing, fighting, and hurraying, while those nearest to the bonfire stripped boughs off the unscathed trees to thrust into the heart of the glow for torches. Old Bus bounced and rolled himself into the car on which he had been standing, pulled down Teddy Barnstable onto the seat beside him, and was bumped away, muttering among his shawls. "Defeated, am I? Dead and done for, am I? I'll show 'em." Then to Teddy, "Not so fast, my boy. What's your hurry? I told Jenny to get things going before I started. Provisions? I'm provisioned for 3 years. Can't launch a revolution on empty stomachs, my boy. Are they falling in? Don't go too fast, Teddy. Give the white fellow time to bring 'em along in style." And that's the end of chapter 24.